you new to a GLP-1? Did you get a prescription from your doctor for diabetes, weight loss, any number of other comorbidities, and they just told you to eat less and move more, and you're finding that you have a ton of questions? If yes, please know you are not alone. There are so many people in this community who have the exact same story. And I am here to give you a rundown of GLP 101, everything you need to know to get you started. Now, a few housekeeping items. If you are looking for in-depth explanations on all of these points, please go check out my newbies playlist. It is specifically designed with newcomers to GLP-1s in mind. So I go into these topics, I talk about the different aspects of this journey, whether it's from a health standpoint or a weight loss standpoint, I go over everything. So if you're looking for something that's more in depth, I've got you covered. If you are looking for a safe place where you can ask questions and you don't have to worry about getting attacked by people who have been on the medication for a long time and are just jaded to new people and their questions and concerns, don't worry, I've got you covered. In the description box is a link to my positive only support group where we have a positive community that is specifically designed so that everyone has a safe place to ask any questions that they want. You can also message me directly there, and I can help you one-on-one if you're a little more private or a little bit embarrassed about your questions. Trust me, I have heard them all. Okay, we are going to go through the GLP 101 points, rapid fire. Let's get into it. First things first, like this video if you used to watch Saved by the Bell. We used to watch it every morning before school. So hit that thumbs up. All right, GLP 101, if you're wondering where I'm looking at my computer because I want to make sure that I don't miss anything. So first and foremost, protein. You're going to want to make sure that you are getting in enough protein. Specifically for women, that looks like roughly 30 grams of protein per meal. For men, it's a little bit higher. And the reason why you want to do that is you want to stay fuller longer, right? Protein can help you do that. Also, it's going to help you maintain your muscle mass. Next up, let's talk about hydration. Hydration is going to be key on these medications. So part of one of the things that happens with appetite suppression is that it also makes it so that you forget to drink. And it's really important both for your kidneys and also for your overall weight loss that you continue to stay hydrated. The important point that I want to mention about this is you will see a lot of people pushing electrolytes. You do not. I repeat, you do not have to drink a ton of electrolytes every single day. I have electrolytes maybe once a day, maybe once every other day, but I make a point to stay hydrated. So please make sure that you're not just drinking electrolytes at every drink. I know a lot of creators make it seem like that's what they're doing, and maybe they are, but that's a lot of salt. And it's actually going to make you retain weight, right? Water weight, which is, going to be upsetting to you when you get on the scale. So hydration is not crazy. You don't have to get crazy with it. Do not set some ridiculously high goal, okay? 20 gabillion gallons a day. Like some of these people are just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Set something reasonable. Do the best you can. Make it a priority. Don't get crazy with electrolytes. Let's talk about weight loss at the beginning. You may find that you respond very well to either Ozempic, Wegovy, semaglutide, or tirzepatide, Mounjaro, Zepbound. You may find that you respond really well to them in the beginning. And in that first month, you may find that you have some kind of crazy high number of weight loss. I've seen everything from 8 pounds, which is what I did, all the way up to 21 pounds in 1 month. I am here to tell you that the majority of that is inflammation, water weight, and some of it will actually be fat. Do not, I repeat, do not allow yourself to think that every month is going to be like that. It's not. It's going to be extremely high at the beginning, and then it's going to taper off. And then as you get closer to your goal weight, or if you are someone who needs to get under 200 pounds, at either one of those markers, it is going to slow down incredibly. So make sure that you have accurate expectations about what's going to happen. Now, flip side, weight loss at higher doses. So one thing that you need to keep in mind is that for many people, they do not experience weight loss until they get to the higher doses. I like to say it just depends on how broken your body is. If you need a higher dose in order to experience appetite suppression or weight loss, that is perfectly normal. That is perfectly okay. The important thing that you want to remember is you don't want to give up. You don't want to just switch to another medication. You want to make sure that you are going to that highest dose in a reasonable amount of time, right? So not any faster than every 4 weeks. And you give it a chance to work. I cannot tell you how many people have gotten onto specifically tirzepatide, right? Zepbound Mounjaro. And they're like, we're not having any weight loss. I've been on this for 6 months. Nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden they get to 15 and it starts working. It happens. I know that that can be a frustrating process, but do not give up. I'm going to do a water check, or in this case, a Biocare shake plus coffee check. Love those. Okay. Let's talk about hair loss. The number one leading cause of hair loss on these medications is not eating. If you have appetite suppression and you allow it to rule your life, where you are not eating enough calories in the day, you will at some point have hair loss. And it is extremely difficult to come back from that. I cannot tell you how many times I see people posting in support groups and they're like, oh, you know, I was doing so well. I've been on this for 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, a year, and I didn't have any hair loss. And now all of a sudden I've had hair loss. And we go back and look at their caloric intake and it was way too low. Keep in mind that if you start out with your calories incredibly low, much lower than they need to be for you to be in a caloric deficit based off of your weight, your height, your age, right? Which you can calculate online. I have videos that show you how to do that. If you go that low under the limbo bar, you're only going to have to go lower as time goes on to continue losing weight, and you will set yourself up to fail. Now, there are many cases where people have hair loss related to extreme weight loss, right? I can tell you, as somebody who has lost 114 pounds, that is definitely a thing that happens. Again, you want to make sure that you're getting in a quality multivitamin. We're going to talk about supplements next. A quality multivitamin. Make sure that you are meeting that calorie deficit number, right? That you're not coming in under it, and that you're prioritizing protein. That's really what's going to help you keep your hair. Okay, now that I've started about supplements, let's go ahead and jump to that one. Everyone and their brother is going to tell you that you need to buy 20 gabillion supplements. You don't. The things that you need that are essential is a high quality, whole foods vitamin. What does that look like? I have a couple linked in the description box below if you're looking for examples. you really want to spend your money on a quality vitamin. You know, you don't want to go with something that's like GLP-1 vitamin and blah, 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 right? If it's labeled GLP-1 supplement, just run the other direction. When it comes to vitamins, supplements, right, you want to make sure that you're getting something that's a quality that covers all the bases, and a multivitamin is going to do that for you. The other option that you can go with, and again, I have them linked in the description box, is you can go with like a bariatric vitamin. Those are little chewable tablets. I've done videos on them. They're very easy to chew up even if you're having a tough day. And it ensures that you're getting all of the vitamins and minerals that you need, again, which is going to help you long term, and it's also going to help you avoid things like hair loss. So be careful about supplements. You do not need berberine. You do not need yerba mate. You do not need shakalaka, okay? GLP-1 insert garbage here for $79. You do not need Kim Kardashian GLP-1 let me take your money supplement. Please save your money, spend it on your medication, spend it on things that will help you. If you struggle with things like hydration, spend that money that you would have spent on a bunch of garbage supplements. Go get a Circle water bottle. I did a review on a bunch of the flavors. I've got another review coming out soon, right? Do things that help you to better reach your goal. If you struggle with hydration, get on Etsy, get you a bunch of stickers, right? To then put on your water bottle so that it makes you happy and it makes you want to drink it. By the way, if you're watching this, drink your drink right now. Right? Spend your money there, not on a bunch of supplements. Okay. Stay on each dose as long as you can. This was the best advice that I received when I first started out on a GLP-1. I understand that this goes against a lot of the advice that many doctors who are not educated on GLP-1s are going to give you. So the only thing I can say here is this is not medical advice, obviously, but you need to do your research. If you titrate up too quickly and you blow through the doses, once you reach that highest dose, there's nowhere to go from there. They're still researching higher doses. And once you reach that point, then you're just stuck. You may or may not be able to go back down in doses and have success, right? It becomes problematic. Instead of reaching that point, stay on each dose until you encounter a weight loss stall. A stall consists of 4 weeks of not losing weight, then go up in dose. And again, I have videos on all of these topics, so if you need more in-depth coverage, definitely go check those out in the newbie playlist. Okay. Don't waste time with a pharmacy. Switch. This is one of the biggest things that I have seen in the, covered by insurance name brand community. If you are struggling to get your medications, either from CVS or Walgreens or whoever your local pharmacy is, please make a point to look into your insurance. There will be a list either on their website or you can call your insurance company, find out where you can switch to. I highly recommend Sam's or Walmart because they are the ones that, Sam's specifically, got me through the last shortage that we had, and I never went without medication. I do have videos where I talk more about pharmacies and how problematic it can be, but suffice to say, if you're having an issue, if you're having a delay, if it's taking weeks for you to get a refill, please stop using that pharmacy. You don't owe them anything. You don't owe them your loyalty. Switch to another pharmacy. Okay, it's a very easy process. I have a video that shows you how to do it. Okay, don't compare yourself to other people. This is a big one. I know that it's very tempting to look at Sally Joe Shush Kebab, who posted her pictures and she lost, 80 pounds in 6 months. And you're looking at your 15 pounds of weight loss and you're looking in the mirror and you can't even tell that you lost weight. Please, do not compare yourself to other people. First and foremost, you don't know what medical conditions they have. And secondly, this journey is going to be your own. Each body is different, each person is different, and you are going to miss out on the joy of your success by comparing yourself to other people. So don't do it. Okay, don't eat too late at night. This is a big one that I had to learn very early on. Eating late at night, which for me is anything past 7 o'clock, means that I am going to be waking up in the middle of the night with either acid reflux, sulfur burps, vomiting, diarrhea, stomach cramps, or all of the above. If you are going to eat a heavy meal, I highly recommend that you do it for lunch rather than doing it for dinner. But if you're going to do it for dinner, make sure that you're eating early enough in the evening that you have time to digest that food, right? Because of the delayed digestion before you turn around and go to bed. Make sure you go watch my video on digestive enzymes. That'll help you as well. Okay, things that you need to watch out for when we're talking about food. So right off the bat, anything high fat, high sugar, high carb, fried. Those are usually the most common triggers when it comes to making people sick when it comes to a GLP-1. So especially if you are just starting out, you need to avoid those items. Some other things to keep in mind that many people experience is they have challenges with red sauce and eating too much. If you overeat on these medications, just like if you were a bariatric patient, you're going to be sorry. More than likely, it's going to come back up. But even if it doesn't, you're going to be down for the count. It's going to be painful. If you have questions about when to take your shot, when is the best time of the day or the best day of the week, definitely go to the newbie playlist and watch my video where I detail how to best choose the right day and time for you based off of your schedule. Okay, protein shakes. Okay, protein shakes are not bad. Protein bars, protein snacks, they're not bad. You'll see a bunch of videos where people are talking about, oh, they have terrible ingredients, these are bad for you, blah, 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 blah. Just like with anything in life, things that are done in moderation are perfectly fine, right? So please don't get sucked up into that garbage. Those people are just trying to get clicks for views by scaring people. If you are not hungry and you can get in a protein shake, absolutely do that. If you are, you need to meet your protein goal for the day, but you're not hungry, definitely have a protein snack. And if you need ideas or some good options for those, definitely check out the links in my description box and go watch my reviews, which are another playlist. I review a ton of stuff. The other thing that I want to mention when it comes to protein shakes is protein shakes are not the same thing as meal replacement shakes, okay? And it just depends on what your goal is. If you're skipping a meal, then a meal replacement shake is going to be your best bet because that includes vitamins and minerals, right? It's designed to be an entire meal, not just a vehicle for protein. If you need to hit your protein goal, then a protein shake would likely be a better choice. And you can have both on hand. I interchange them all the time depending on what I need. Or if I realize it's the end of the day, I'm not hungry for dinner, oh my gosh, I forgot to take my vitamin, let me go ahead and do this meal replacement shake, right? So we can get those vitamins and minerals in. So you can kind of play around with it, but I want to make sure that you're going into this open-minded and that you understand that a protein shake is not the same as a meal replacement shake. Okay. Movement. This is a big one. There are many, many creators out there that are going to tell you you need to get up, you need to work out, you need to resistance train, you need to bust your butt at the gym, you need to get those resistance bands, you got to do this, got to do that, you get it right, and they're all up in your face. I am here to tell you that if you are just starting out, it's okay if you're either scared or not physically able to get in movement. It's okay. I know, unpopular opinion here, but let me explain. When I first started out at 285 pounds, I was deathly afraid that I was going to get injured and that it was going to completely set me back when it comes to my weight loss goals. So what did I do? I decided, you know what? I'm trying to change too many things at one time. I'm just going to change my nutrition. I'm going to focus on my nutrition. I'm going to eat a balanced diet, which is our next point. And I'm going to really focus on getting good food, meeting the protein goal, getting in the hydration, and the exercise part will come later. And I cannot tell you how epic that was, because it eliminated all of that fear of injury. And then as I lost weight, because 95% of weight loss is nutrition, as I lost weight, as the medication was helping my body to function like a normal body, I was able to start integrating the movement. And keep in mind that movement doesn't mean that you got to get a gym membership and you got to spend all this money and you got to buy a Peloton bike. It doesn't necessarily mean those things. It may mean something like that later on, or if you want to go that route because you're excited about it, by all means. But if you're not, or you're worried, just know that it's not a requirement. Getting outside, throwing the ball for the dogs, going on a walk, parking at the end of the parking lot, and then briskly walking inside every time you go to a store. Those are all examples of getting in movement. If you have children, get out there and play with your kids. You know, make a hopscotch and hoppy hop your little heart out, right? Run laps around the house, play hide and seek, play tag. Get out there and get movement in, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a regimented schedule and a workout 3 days a week for an hour and a half and then cardio for 3 days a week and blah, 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 blah. You don't have to do that. If you want to do it later on in your journey, then by all means, have at it. But it's not a requirement to get you started. And I think that it can be really overwhelming for people who are new to a GLP-1 to not only revamp their nutrition, start a new medication and deal with side effects, and then on top of that, completely revamp their lifestyle to incorporate exercise when they haven't in 10 plus years, right? Choose your battles wisely. Start with your nutrition and then take it from there. Because once you've got the nutrition on point, everything else falls into place and it's so much easier. Now, let's talk about nutrition and then I'm going to wrap this up because I don't want to make it too long. I could talk to you for days. Okay. Here's the big thing about nutrition. If you are somebody who was eating a, standard or typical American diet, fast food diet, unhealthy diet, right? Lots of high fat, high carb, high calorie foods, then prioritizing protein, making sure that you're in a caloric deficit, and eating a balanced diet is the way to go. If you need to tweak it as you go along, you can absolutely do that. But there's no need to follow a specific diet plan unless you're meeting with a nutritionist or a dietitian who's telling you otherwise. Obviously, right, this is not medical advice. Go with what your nutritionist or your dietitian is telling you to do. So if you have some additional autoimmune disease or, other comorbidity that is diet related, right, then you want to make sure, like I just mentioned, you're meeting with a nutritionist or a dietitian so that they can best advise you what would be a good option for you. But if you don't have any of those issues, then starting out with a balanced diet that prioritizes protein is going to be an excellent starting point. And it's going to help you to really revamp what you've been doing previously. And going along with nutrition, if it is not something that triggers you, I highly recommend that you track your calories. Many of us struggle with portion sizing and understanding, how to be in a calorie deficit, and tracking can absolutely help you do that. If tracking is not something that's good for your mental health, right? If it causes you issue, then you're going to want to meet with a nutritionist or a dietitian so that they create a weekly plan for you, right? And then you can just follow that, and your calorie deficit is already worked into the meals that you'll be creating. I hope you found this video helpful. I hope that if you have questions or concerns that you drop them down in the comments. I read all of your comments and I would love to be able to help you on your health journey. If you're looking for support, don't forget the link to the Positive Only support group is in the description box below. I hope to see you over there. And don't forget to check out the other videos in the newbies playlist because there's so much great information there where I go in depth about these topics and so much more, and it can really help you in your health journey. As always, be kind, rewind.